if you are just starting out in a landscape business, or you have one, you're doing 10K a month, 15K a month, and you just can't really get past that 15K a month, 10K a month range, you want to get into bigger construction projects. I built this document for my younger self because if I would have been thinking through these frameworks, I would have leveled up a lot quicker. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Caleb James. I'm from Wichita, Kansas, and I started a mowing business when I was in high school, and I grew it to 80 customers, sold the business, and then I started a construction business because I wanted to get into the higher profit margin construction projects and build a big team. And so once I jumped into that new construction business, I had 4 employees at one point. They told me they knew what they were doing, they really didn't. Projects were taking longer than I was expecting. We were losing money on some projects. And I took all the profits from those projects and used it to buy dump trailers and all this equipment. And I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't it. I found a guy in my local area that's been doing hardscape patios for 30 years, and I had him do a project for me. He said that he would do it for 3 grand. It was a $12,000 job. I had 4,000 in materials. He did it for 3,000. And so my cost on the project was 7,000. So I made 5 grand in 3 days. And I didn't touch a single thing. And so from there, I reverse engineered my business, started selling stuff off, and now I've been subcontracting ever since. I just did a $90,000 project, and my gross profit on it was 18,000 after everything, which there was a couple things I wasn't anticipating, but to make 18 grand and not touch a single block on the job, if you can do 4 of those a month, 5 of those a month using multiple crews, which is easily you easily can, you're going to be making a lot of money and running a lot of jobs, getting a lot of jobs done. If you don't have projects, it's okay because you don't have employees relying on you and you don't have all this overhead either. So, this document is for you to make more money. It is for you to learn to delegate some of your time. It is for you to level up in business. There's no other purpose. There's no other reason why I made this document. And some things that I need to get into before I get into the business principles are for you to level up the business, you're going to have to level up yourself. And there was multiple things that I got rid of, habits that I broke that allowed me to be able to scale my business to 7 figures. I gave up porn, I gave up masturbating, I gave up random hookups, I gave up the clubs. Now I'm in control of my sexual desire. I gave up smoking weed. I gave up hitting vapes. I'll occasionally smoke a cigar if there's something to celebrate. I stopped hanging out with negative people, scarce people, and people that aren't in it to make society a better place. I still have friends that are going to the clubs 2 years later and nothing has changed. They haven't developed at all. I had to get out of that friend group. I had to get out of that pack. And so now I'm hanging around people that inspire me and push me and motivate me. And you need to do the exact same thing. I stopped complaining. I stopped having a victim mindset where it's like, hey, my parents weren't rich, so that's why I don't have money. Or, hey, I don't have anybody around me that's running a business, so that's why I don't have a business. It's this victim mindset. You are in complete control of your life and your outcomes. Your bank account is directly correlated to your knowledge on making money. Your friend group is directly correlated to you as a person. You attract the people that you are. Um, Everything in your life, you're in complete control of. I stopped eating trash fast food and now I eat organic whole foods. I watch what I eat, I watch what I drink. And some things that I need you to implement are a Google Calendar to optimize your life. Intermittent fasting really helps me in the mornings because I'm able to get work done. I'm not eating things, so I have full clarity. And then developing a morning routine. What the morning routine looks like for me is, hey, I'll wake up, I'll meditate, I'll read 10 pages, I'll do some breath work, I'll stretch, I'll journal. This morning, I grabbed this journal right here, and I wrote down some to-do tasks, and I wrote down just a letter to God and what's going to happen in my life. I'm journaling. I am spelling. When you're spelling, you're casting a spell. And so I take this very seriously. I take journaling seriously, spending time in the Word and praying, spending time, talking to God and developing your faith, because He's the creator of everything, and everything in this world He owns. Um, and so seek first the kingdom of God and develop your faith and pray and surrender your life and ask Him to guide you. Also, you need to challenge yourself and do ice baths, do some runs. If you're feeling down, go for a run, listen to David Goggins on a run, hit 4 miles, and then come back. You'll be fired up. And then you need to start doing breath work and meditation, because thoughts create reality and you have to control your mind. Yeah, to handle this growth in this business that you're about to do over the next 2-3 months, you're about to go through tremendous growth in your business after this. And so to handle it, you have to be extremely disciplined and dialed in. And to lead a team and to drive the sales that you're going to need to drive, everybody is counting on you to perform, and you're going to have to be dialed in. If you make a mistake early on in business when you don't have many employees, let's say I were to go out and eat a McDonald's double cheeseburger and a milkshake for lunch, the business would take a 50% hit in productivity that afternoon, because I am the business. And so when the business is small, you are extremely important to the business's success. And so you have to be very, very disciplined. Everybody's counting on you. Your parents are counting on you to succeed. Your community's counting on you to succeed. I'm counting on you to succeed. And so you need to be disciplined. Now, when I think about business and when I think about scale and when I think about reverse engineering my targets, let's say I'm at 10K a month in my landscape business right now. I'm mowing grass. I am doing all of the work, or I'm doing small landscape projects. I am doing all of the work, and I want to get to 100K a month in sales, not doing any of the work, working directly on the business. If that is my target, what I need to do is I need to think about, hey, what are the top 3 things that I do on a day-to-day basis that actually get me closer to that target? And so I don't know if you guys have heard of Pareto principle, but if you look at this right here, Pareto's principle states that 20% of your effort creates 80% of the results. And so what you need to do is you need to spend time journaling after a meditation or on a walk. You need to spend time thinking about, hey, what are the 20% of things that actually create results? Because everything else, if it's not directly creating the result, it's actually resistance. It's resistance to do the thing that actually drives the result. And so sometimes there's such thing as productive procrastination. You could be doing things that are productive, but are they actually moving the needle forward? And the truth is if you continue to do what you're doing, you're going to continue to get what you're getting. And so you have to dial in what's actually creating the result, spend all your time there. Yes, the other stuff is important, but we'll optimize for that on the back end of the day. So when I did this for my business, I wrote out a list of like, hey, what are 10 things that I do on a day-to-day basis, and what are the top 3 most important things? Because as a business owner, I want to use leverage. I want to use leverage to my benefit. Leverage is using something small to produce a larger impact or result. And this is an old Greek philosopher. He has an amazing quote where it says, "Give me a place to stand, and with a lever long enough, I will move the whole world." And so leverage is powerful. And when you're trying to break out of this matrix and when you're trying to create abundance and financial freedom for yourself, we need to use as much leverage as humanly possible, because everybody is trying to do this at the exact same time. And we only get one life. We have a limited amount of time on this planet. So we need to be doing it smarter, not harder. So on a day-to-day basis, what actually produces results in your business? I wrote all these things down, And the three that stood out to me that actually got me from 10K a month to 100K a month was systems and delegation, building relationships, and client acquisition. And so I broke all three of these things down, and I'm going to go over them in depth. But what I want you to do is immediately after this video, I want you to do this top three levers activity. I want you to write down what you do on a day-to-day basis, because it looks different than me, because I'm at 100K a month right now and I'm not doing any of the work. And so on a day-to-day basis, it may look different than you guys. So write down the top 10 things that you're doing and then narrow it down to three that actually get you results. And there's a quote from Alex Hormozy here that says, "You have to let some fires burn. Not every problem needs to be solved immediately. If you try to address every issue, you'll end up neglecting the critical things that actually move the business forward." To sum that up, if you're doing everything, you end up missing out on the things that actually move the business forward. And so by doing the things that actually move the business forward, they start to create results, they start to create cash flow, and then with that cash flow, you can catch up on the stuff you left alone by delegating it or outsourcing it. But if you just do everything, you're going to be in the same financial position, you're not going to be able to delegate, and you're going to get stressed out and nothing's going to move forward. And so you really just need to double down on what creates results. Let every other fire burn. Yes, there's going to be problems. Yes, people are going to text you, but that's fine, because now you're getting yourself to a position where, hey, I'm creating excess cash flow, and then you can delegate and then solve the issues on the back end. So these top three levers are what you should optimize for in the very beginning of the day. Why? Because your brain's fresh, your dopamine's reset, you haven't doom scrolled short form, you haven't ate seed oils or highly pleasurable foods, you haven't gone and done meetings yet, so you're not in a communicative state. You need to do the top three tasks in the morning. All the other admin tasks you can catch up on the back end of the day. So just this activity alone gives you clarity on what you need to do to actually move forward. Now I'm going to break down all three of these things, and what has helped me out. So with client acquisition, this is basically, marketing and then getting the deals. So on the marketing side, you need to probably restructure your entire marketing. Now, there's a video I watched from Simon Sinek that was extremely impactful. It's called The Golden Circle. And I recommend all of you guys also go and watch this on YouTube. It's an 18-minute video, and it will really nail down this point of they don't buy the what, they buy the why. Everybody in your area is selling lawn care, or they're selling a patio, or they're selling a landscape. Now, what would make you stand out is if they're buying a part of your mission, or they're buying a why. And basically what Simon Sinek says is people buy from the why, because the why stems from the limbic brain, and the limbic brain is responsible for all of our the limbic brain is responsible for all of our feelings, like trust and loyalty. It's also responsible for all human behavior and decision making. It has no capacity for language. So the limbic brain is responsible for all of our decision making and most of our feelings. And so if you can make somebody feel something, it's going to be easier for them to transact. If you go to the neocortex side, like for paper patios, like if I'm just selling a paper patio, there's nothing behind, no bigger mission, then they're just going to be thinking analytically about it. Hey, you're $2,000 cheaper. I could just go to this other guy. They sell paper patios too. I'm just going to save my $2,000. So if you can stand out from the pack, and you can stand out from every other landscape business in your area by having a deeper mission, a deeper why on why your business is doing it, why you guys are building these landscapes, people are going to buy into that. Apple didn't just say, hey, I sell computers. They had a much more elegant and smarter marketing pitch, and it showed the mission that they're on. And so Simon Sinek goes over this a lot. People do not buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And so here's another exercise. I'm going to be giving you guys multiple exercises that I need you to complete. If you don't complete this, this was a waste of your time and a waste of your money. And if you just put these on a to-do list, they probably won't get done. So what I want you to do is put them directly in a calendar and schedule time out to get these tasks done. And a lot of new business owners, they might think, well, Caleb, if I create this manifesto, it's a 30-minute exercise. That's not going to directly put money in my bank account. Why would I do that? I'm just going to go mow grass or do another project. That directly puts money in my bank account. And that is one of the biggest issues with new entrepreneurs is they have such short-term thinking. They want results quick. They want the quick money. And by doing the thing that directly puts money in the bank account, yes, you're going to get money in the bank account, but it puts money in the bank account once. By doing an exercise like this, it's not going to directly put money in the bank account, but that's why it's going to make you stand out because other business owners are going to think short term as well. This exercise will create money multiple times over again. And do you see why that's better than just going and putting money in the bank account once? If you do this, one, you're going to gain a lot of clarity on why you're actually in business and why you're doing what you're doing. But two, people are going to buy into that and it's going to make you stand out because no other companies are doing it. So when you do this manifesto exercise, you're basically building your why, your deeper purpose for your business. And this is going to be the framework for your marketing. This is going to be the concrete that you build your marketing house on. Now, I want you to go over these questions. What difference does my work make in the lives of my clients? So when you think about your customers, what difference does your work make in the lives of my clients? Well, they get an amazing outdoor area that now they're proud of. It'll increase their energy. It'll make them want to work harder in business to build a better backyard and a bigger house. It'll inspire them. It'll motivate them because now friends are coming over and complimenting it. And so it just creates a ripple effect. What's the mission behind my business that's bigger than money? Well, I want to completely transform all of the homeowners' lives that I work with in Wichita and give them an experience that is unlike any other construction company. And I want it to be a pivotal point in their lives. I want them to grab an energy from this landscape that, forces hard work and development and abundance into their life. What do I believe about landscaping that sets me apart from others in the industry? Well, I believe that it's more than just landscape. I believe that it's more than just profit. What inspired me to start the business in the first place? Well, I had a friend that was in the industry and I loved working outside and I loved meeting successful homeowners and I loved the interaction. What change do I want to create in the world or my clients' lives? Like I mentioned previously, I want every single person I work with to experience a transformation with my customer service, but also with their landscape that radically changes the direction of their life and allows them to think different, act different, move different, and treat people different. So I want you guys to go over those questions, write those down. When you're done with that, copy and paste that into ChatGPT and ask it to build you a manifesto based off Simon Sinek's Golden Circle video. And then continue to type in there even more questions about, hey, why am I doing this? You can even use the voice memo app or you can use the voice memo on ChatGPT and talk into it, but then ask it to build you a why and then refrain on it. Keep refraining it. And what I want you to do is don't necessarily tell people why you're different, but try and show them why you're different with your words. When you're telling, you're pushing. When you're showing and asking, you're pulling. So I want you to show why you're different. And then the next exercise that I want you to do is You need to identify what your dream project and your dream client looks like. So that way we know who we're going after with our short form content, with our website, with our brand, where we're spending our time, who we're interacting with, who are we networking with. Because if we're going to be marketing and spending money on Facebook ads and spending money on redoing a website, I want it to be the most impactful as possible to my specific target market. If you're too broad, and if you're just like, I want any paper patio I can get, you're going to be wasting a lot of time in your sales process if your prices in your service only reflects the high end customers. Because everybody that is going to just want a 10K patio, they're going to come into your sales process and you're going to be at 15K for the 10K patio, and it's just going to create a lot of headaches. So if you know right away you only want to work with the best, and you only want to work with people that are willing to pay for a good service and that don't really care about money, they care about the best service and the best experience, then that's what you need to do from the get-go to save yourself the headache. You need to pre-qualify your clients based off of your marketing. And so uh, you need to ask yourself these questions, and then again put it into ChatGPT and ask it to help you. If you guys aren't using AI, you're falling behind, because it is smarter than you, it is smarter than me, and you can get results much faster. I use it as a mentor in business. I'm constantly, even like tax advice or marketing advice or helping me come up with hooks for my personal brand, I'm using ChatGPT every single day. And if you're not, then you're losing, you're falling behind. So identify your dream clients to become more profitable and to start attracting the projects that excite you and energize you. You need to reverse engineer these results to tailor your marketing to hit this audience. Some questions that you can ask yourself to help with this are: which past projects have been the most profitable or impactful? And what type of projects excite you and energize you the most? So for me, I made 18 grand in 4 days on a new build. So that was the most profitable project that I've ever done. So that, I mean, I need to be calling custom home builders and building those relationships. And those projects excite me the most because I don't have to worry about driving on grass. I can just go in, we can just plant a plant. We're not ripping anything out. We can just build a patio. We're not tearing grass out or moving sprinklers. We get to build the sprinklers to our patio. So those are the best projects in my opinion. And those are the ones that excite me the most. And they just get wrapped up into a mortgage. So those are the most profitable and they excite me the most. And so now that I know that I'm going after those, I can build a funnel landing page targeted just for custom home builders, or I can, cold call them, or if I know somebody that's a builder, I can ask him to spread the word. You start unpacking, hey, what actually creates results? What are actually the projects that I want? What are actually the clients that I'm going after? Rather than this just desperate, hey, let's just take everything. Because you're going to get to a point in business where you don't want everything. You don't need everything. And actually, by doing everything, it hurts you, because instead of spending your time running around doing these projects that make you 2 grand a day, if you just did the projects that were the most profitable and excited you the most, and you just did 4 of them a month, you would have more time to develop your mind and spend time with your loved ones. You'd make more profit and you'd have a better business. And so the clients, who are the clients that value your expertise and are willing to invest in your quality work? What are the common values or priorities of your dream clients? My dream clients live in blank, blank, blank neighborhood or blank, blank, blank area. Those clients who are willing to pay premium prices for my services care about blank, blank, blank. The clients I most enjoy working with are those who dot, 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 dot. So take the time, get this done. If you don't, I'm sorry. I wish you the best of luck. This information is the foundation of client acquisition and of your marketing. Some of the next steps: I had a graphic designer design the logo for my brand to attract the clients that I was going after. I wanted a luxury logo. I wanted a clean, sleek logo. And I think that, I got that dialed in. People compliment me on my branding all the time. Next, you need to revamp your website so that these dream projects are what people feel as soon as they get on there. and it needs to target the type of clients that you want. And if you do the manifesto correctly, you can have a punchline that it becomes almost your marketing or your motto that could be on the website that's like, wow, it's not just a landscape. This guy wants to change my life. Let's do this. I need my life changed. And then you need to update all your social media pages. If you don't have a Google My Business, do that yesterday. Start getting reviews. Change your hours to 24/7, because if somebody is looking to call a landscaper and it's 6 p.m. and you have it marked that you close at 5, they're not going to call you. So have your hours at 24/7. Build a really good description. Post in there. You need to be making posts on your Google My Business page. It'll start ranking you up in your local area. You need to be responding to Google reviews on your page. You need to be asking for Google reviews from every person that you come in contact with in your business. Here's the manifesto page on my website. It needs refined a little bit, but I just wanted to get something out there and at least have this page on my website. Your website is your absolute best sales guy. In 2024, obviously a billboard could be 6 grand a month. It's just not the most effective way of marketing. Now, websites and technology and organic short form content is the best form of marketing. And then everybody goes to your website. So your website is your own billboard. Your website tells your story. Your website is your best sales guy. So I always see the website as a crucial investment into the business. Most marketing isn't an expense, it's an investment, and it will always pay itself off. Think of it as you're planting seeds. The seeds are gonna produce fruit. It may not produce the fruit right away, but it'll produce the fruit in the long run. So you need to be taking the money that you're earning on the business and then investing it and then doubling down on the results to create bigger and better results. Take cool photos from projects and change the reel cover on your business Instagram page to make it look very aesthetic. Like if you look at my business Instagram page, all of these photos, I've taken photos and then changed the cover photo of these reels to make my grid look aesthetic for everybody that comes on. Why? Because I wanted to stand out. And a lot of other people in my local area, you know, Instagram kind of gets thrown on the back end and they kind of half-ass it. So they'll shoot a reel, they'll upload it, but you can sniff half-ass versus sniff, wow, this is amazing, looks great. And that right there, any bit of, hey, this looks amazing, this is unreal, will help you sustain your margins because people can tell that you're not lazy. Invest in a drone, DJI mics. These mics right here are unbelievable for shooting videos. Also, a drone makes your content look 10 times better. And then you need to be building a brand. Money follows attention. So be telling your story, be building your brand on IG, follow all your local realtors, custom home builders, coffee shops. When you go to a coffee shop, post a picture of that coffee, tag them, see if they can reshare it. You can tap into their audience as well. Be tagging all these local businesses in your local area to tap into their audience and vice versa. You need to leverage other people. So those are the couple exercises, and that's a little bit about organic marketing, but I wanted to get into the lead generation activities that I'm using currently. And if you're a beginner, I wanted to give you a little bit of sauce as well. So when you're a beginner, you don't have capital, you need to be scrappy with your time, with your energy. You're going to be pushing through massive resistance. You're going to be doing hard things, but this is what's going to create the results for you. So if you're a beginner and you're like, hey, let me build a website and let me do this and that, like, that's fine. It's just not going to get projects through the door right away. What's going to get projects through the door right away is doing the uncomfortable, cold calling people, is going and knocking on doors, going and passing out flyers, building a list of people in your contact list that you can call on and get leads from, doing next door selfie videos on Facebook, having your family share the videos. All of these things are going to create results for you right away. And that's what you have to do it in the beginning. I am at a point right now in the business to where I don't have to do much of that stuff anymore. I'm obviously still hitting organic marketing hard. I'm doing the reels, I'm doing the, hey, we just made it to the project, I'm doing the Instagram stories, but I'm mostly doing Facebook ads, and that's giving me a steady 30 leads a month. And I wanted to kind of break down the math on the Facebook ads for you. So I'm paying an agency $1,700 to manage my website and the ads for me, and I'm spending $2,000 a month on Facebook and $500 on Google Ads. So my ad spend here is $4,400 a month, and I get a steady 25 to 30 leads. So if I have a 10% close rate on 30 leads, that means I'm going to close 3 deals. If each of the deals that I closed were 20 grand and I do those jobs at 35% gross margins, which is what I'm shooting for, then I'm going to make $21,000. Is that worth my ad spend? Of course it is. It's going to pay for itself. So if you can invest the money into Facebook ads, it's almost guaranteed to pay itself off, and you're getting brand recognition. So I can't recommend this enough. Facebook ads have really changed my business. Now, the ones that produce the best results are the Facebook ads that I'm doing with a walkthrough video or a client testimonial. Any kind of video is going to produce better results than just a PDF that everybody can do. As you can see here, the video was almost 60% better than the PDF. And I got almost probably 40 leads from this video just right here. So was that worth the 2 minutes it took me to build it? Of course it was. And in your short form content, in your video, it's important to reverse engineer the clients you want, because now your hook, your first 10 seconds, you can call out your target market and you can hook them in, and then pull them into your funnel and then drop them into your ads. And then from there, they go into your Go High Level system, and then you're booking a call and a meeting, and then boom, you close the deal. So Facebook ads are effective, but to run a successful, really profitable business, we can't rely just on Facebook ads, or else it wouldn't be that profitable. So to maximize profit, we need to focus on ways that we can increase the long-term value of each client. I've done a couple reels on this recently, but I used to focus on max profit on each job. Like, yes, I'm making 10 grand. Yes, I'm making 18,000. But now I'm like, hey, Luke, go spend $200 on them, and then let's create them a handwritten note and let's give it to the client. I'm thinking of ways that I can create a raving fan of my business. I'm thinking of ways to where that client is never going to go to another landscape company again or think of another landscape company again, because those thoughts, if that client is a raving fan of my business, they know 100 people that they're going to tell and go spread my business to. So that in itself is way more profitable than me spending money on Facebook ads. And my clients will do the marketing for me if they get a good experience. So you want your clients sharing your company, you want them to come back to you. That's where you make the money. If you have to pay for new customers every time, you don't have a good business. So ways that you can increase the long-term value of each client: communication and customer service are massive. So as soon as really the whole process. Hey, are you letting them know that you're an hour away to the in-person meeting? Are you letting them know that you just wrapped up the proposal, you're still tweaking the design a little bit? Are you letting them know that you're going to start the project in a week? Are you letting them know that, hey, they didn't have that tree in stock, so I went ahead and swapped it out with this? Are you okay with that? Are you letting them know that, hey, we're about 2 days away from being done on the project? Are you letting them know that, hey, there was a change right there? Are you sending them update photos, project photos? The process start to finish is organized and reverse engineered. So to really focus on the customer service aspect, you need to think about, okay, if I was a customer and I was doing business with Caleb or John, what does that client journey look like right now in my business? And is that the best it possibly can be? You need to reverse engineer that client process and make it as impactful and as unforgettable as possible. And then obviously your project needs to be done extremely well, and your employees, your or contractors need to pay massive attention to detail. And your job as the business owner is to ensure that the quality of the job is up to your standard and up to par. And then you need to have frequent check-in with past customers to make sure everything's going all right. So in one of your project management SOPs or in your systems, you need to schedule in a post-project follow-up call a month after you guys get done. This is going to really, one, it's going to put your business and your name back into their mind, but it's also going to cement the fact that, look, Caleb really cares about this project. And then potentially giving away hats or shirts to the customer, or a cigar, or chocolates, or roses, or champagne. And then a thank you letter, a handwritten note really goes a long way. So all of these things are going to increase the long-term value of your clients, and it's going to allow them. You don't want to really do the marketing if you don't have to. Like if you didn't have to spend the $4,000 a month on Facebook ads, but you still had 40 leads a month just off referrals, that's what a profitable business. I mean, you're going to be rolling. And so you want the clients to market for you. Other lead generating mechanisms that are still very powerful: every single time a customer comes through, or you get a phone call, or they're in any of your softwares, you need to build an Excel sheet with all of their contact information and store it. This is going to be a good cold call list in case you're ever slow. You can just call up every single person on this list. Just because they didn't buy from you in that instant doesn't mean that they won't buy from you 6 months from now, or 2 weeks from now. So you need to have them on this list. You can also be sending emails to them, put them on an email blast where it's like a weekly newsletter or a monthly newsletter, and just send them past project photos or projects that you're currently working on, give them updates. BNI business groups, local networking groups, the more people you know, the more money you make. And so by you getting out there and networking and telling your business's story and meeting roofers, meeting plumbers, meeting real estate agents, if you create a good relationship with them, not only are they going to send you work, but they know 100 people, just like I said, that also can come and do work with you. High-end gym memberships. So I got a high-end gym membership last year, and I did like 40K in sales just from that membership, because I was around CEOs, I was around construction business owners, I was around people that were my target market. And then also SEO, website upgrades, and referrals. Those are great lead generating mechanisms. Also, yard signs, flyers, door hangers, all great as well. Now, that's getting leads in the door. But how do you convert the leads to actually paying clients? Because getting leads in the door is just 1/8 of the equation. Now, I love this quote from Brandon Dawson: success loves speed. The faster you can get from initial contact to closing a deal, the more momentum you create, and momentum is everything in business. The faster you can go from somebody coming through your Facebook ad to actually getting the check, it increases your cash flow, it increases your momentum, it allows you to start investing into websites, investing into yourself just like this, and it just creates speed. Success loves speed, success loves momentum. And so what I want you to do, I'm giving you guys lots of tasks, and I am counting on you guys to take action on them, or this was pointless. So what I want you to do is document your entire sales journey right now. So what that looks like is, hey, when the phone call comes in, where am I sending them? Okay, I'm letting them know I'm going to meet them for an in-person meeting. Did I qualify them? Or am I just going to go to this meeting and find out they only wanted to spend $500? So you need to qualify them. Okay, what questions are you going to ask? Okay, was that too much of a pushy question? Or, was that a bad question? Is this question aligned with the result that I want the client to feel? Okay, when I get to the in-person meeting, what questions am I asking that are going to help me in the sales process to close the deal later? Are they interacting with me because of pain or pleasure? Are they doing it because they want to have friends over and drink wine and enjoy the backyard? Or are they doing it because their grandma keeps coming over and slipping on the stamped concrete because it's slippery and there's a crack that they don't like, and it makes them insecure when they have friends over, and so they really would just like to have pavers so that way it was more grippy and it looks a lot better and they feel better when they're at their home and when they're at the place that they spend all their time at. So you need to document your entire sales process, And then wherever there is a stall in the sales process, for instance, there was a stall in the sales process for creating designs for me because I was counting on a designer to do it, but he took 2 weeks to get it back. By then, the client's already thinking about all their other problems, and now they have a flat tire, and now they don't really want to do the project with me. So boom, if that's creating a blockage in my sales process, I'm immediately going to research other ways to get a design to them in 48 hours rather than 2 weeks. And so if that looks like me even getting on there and doing some designs, if that is going to increase cash flow and it's going to increase my close rate, I'm willing to sacrifice that. So I found a software called Dynascape Creator that I can use on my MacBook, and it's actually pretty easy to do designs. And so I just started doing those for my clients, and it's increased my close rate. It's increased the speed at which I can go from phone call to check. Identify bottlenecks that are slowing the process down. Create urgency and speed to build momentum with your clients. So, I mean, how I use this is like, okay, in the summertime, I'm giving an 8% discount on my labor because we're slow. So if you book before the end of August, or if you let us know before the end of July, I can actually hook you up with this summer discount. Or in the wintertime, hey, we only have 2 projects left that we're taking. So you need to create urgency, you need to create speed. Why think about something? Why let it bog your mental real estate down? This is kind of what you need to be closing your prospects on with logic. Like, let's just get this done. Like, if you're going to do it in 3 years, you might as well enjoy it. Start enjoying it now, you know? So create urgency, create speed, track common objections and overcome them. So if you're hearing, hey, Caleb, everything looks great, but it's just more than what we were looking to spend right now, you need to be writing that down, and you need to be reverse engineering that and having a good having a good framework that you can overcome that. Because if you're just practicing on $40,000 jobs live action, you're doing yourself and your business, your family, your community a massive disservice. So track common objections, write them down on a Google document, and then take 30 minutes a week to train on these while you're in the shower. Role play with Mrs. Jones. Hey, Miss Jones, you guys ready to move forward with this? No, Caleb. Or she probably wouldn't say that, but she'd say, Caleb, everything really looks great. It's just kind of more than what we were looking to spend right now. I'm thinking that we're going to do this in the springtime. Hey, Mrs. Jones, I completely understand, and I think that's a good idea to do it in the spring. However, in the springtime, my business is massively busy, and my prices actually go up in the spring because, after the first of the year, all the, everybody's updating pricing, and, I anticipate another. I mean, last year there was an 8% price increase. This year it's going to be an 8% price increase. If you're going to do it in the spring, I'd want you to just enjoy the project now and save the money. Is there a price you guys were comfortable investing into this project? So something like that you can use to overcome what they're saying. Focus on serving the client. What can you do for them that makes you stand out from your competition? So I'm about to get into some visuals that I do for my clients. This is how I serve my customers, because most contractors are just going to put an estimate together, send it over email, and then boom, that's done. But how is that actually serving the client? What serving the client looks like is printing off the estimate, printing off material PDFs, going and grabbing the materials from the supply store, meeting with the customer in person, letting them know you used high-end products, and this is the reason why, and that you wouldn't use any other products on your house, so you wouldn't want to sell them to him either. And then you're going to tell them, hey, if you actually want cheaper products, I can do that. I don't like selling them, and this is the reason why. So by doing these things, you're serving the client. You're letting the client know why you picked it. You're bringing stuff. You're going out of your way to let them show him what he's investing in. I do plant PDF slide presentations. If I'm sending it over email or a Zoom call, I'll put together a slide presentation. If I'm meeting them in person, I'll put together a Google Doc with all the plant images. This is what a design looked like in Dynascape Creator that I put together. So stuff like this, this probably took me 40 minutes, and boom, now the client knows exactly what he's investing in, and now I can use it to help me in the construction process, because I know from this end of the step to the end of this fire pit area, it's 25 feet. I can make the measurements, send it to my contractors. I can take notes on this page. I can let the contractors know, hey, this is 5 feet out from the pool house. They can see exactly where the plants are going to go. So by spending the 40 minutes on the front end, not only does it help me sell the job, but it helps me do the job. And most contractors would probably charge 500, $600 for this. And sometimes I'll charge for it as well. But if I can actually just do this for the client, create that value from them, and then I'm going to do a project that's going to make me 8,000, I'm going to do that. So UVision edit image designs, yeah, something like this you could charge $250 for, $300 for, which I recommend doing. And same with this. I recommend charging $750 for a backyard, 500 for a front yard. And you'll take the price off the project if they choose to go with you. But if they choose to take it to another contractor, that's when you bill. Or if they do it themselves, that's when you charge for it. Same with like this 3D rendering right here of this patio. These are really helpful for, patio renderings, but most of the time it's not really to scale. It's just to kind of show your client what they want. So this again, maybe $500, and you can kind of give them the gist. So these are all really good ways how you can serve the client during the sales process. And then on the back end of the sales process, you have following up with clients. Now, 10% of clients will always buy. 10% will never buy, but the key to growth is in the 80%. That 80% is what everybody's fighting over. 10% are always going to buy from you. 10% are never going to buy from you. Most contractors are operating off of that 10% of the people that just always buy, and they're scared about following up, and they just kind of let that 80% fall through the cracks. They waste their time and their money. So what I want you to realize is to get to the next level and to scale, you have to overcome all the limiting beliefs and the fear of rejection with these follow-ups and be ruthless. Now, following up is actually a part of having great customer service and showing the clients that you're organized and on top of it. And then on these follow-up calls, I want you to focus on building relationships with the clients and focus on solving their problems. So for instance, I'm calling Mrs. Jones right now. Hey, Mrs. Jones, how have you guys been since the last time we spoke? Let them talk a little bit. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so happy that you guys were actually able to go to California. My family used to go to California a lot when I was younger. I haven't been there in a while, but it's a beautiful place. Building relationships, not just going right to the sales. You want to break that subconscious barrier that they have and just get right into like, hey, I am here to build a relationship with you. And look, I'm not here to screw you on profit. I'm smarter than that. I want to build something that you guys are proud of. Obviously, my business still needs to make money, but I'm here to build something that you guys are proud of. And I want you to work together with me until we find something that you guys love and that is within your budget. You need to help solve their problems. You're servicing the client, not selling the client. If they don't go with you, they're going to go with somebody else. So you need to figure out what they're not certain about and then change it with them. Is it the price? Is it the pavers? Is it the design? Is it my business? What is it? Let's solve the problem, because you reached out to me for a reason. You reached out to a landscape company for a reason. If you don't go with me, you're going to go with somebody else. And you need to be completely, if you guys haven't read the book, Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone, it'll help you with your sales game tremendously. Also, The Psychology of Selling. But what Grant talks about is basically if you're not completely sold on your products, there's no way you can sell. And so you need to be completely sold that you're the best business and the best person they can work with on the backyard. And if you let them go to another company, you're doing them a disservice because you're the best guy. So what are they not certain about? Let's get it changed. And then you also need to realize rejection is never personal. To be great, you have to understand it. And rejection is progress. It's better to get a no than a maybe or let me think about it. Like, what do you need to think about? I'm the expert here. So instead of going and thinking about it let's think about it together. I'm in it to help you make the best decision. If it doesn't make sense for you, we don't have to do it. I have 60 other clients I can do this project with. So that's client acquisition. If you guys have questions on this, feel free to reach out. Love to dive deeper. I hope this helps. I want you to take action on everything that we went over. That's the first lever. The second lever is building relationships. I've gotten myself into a sweet spot within the business to where I have multiple people around me that have tons of experience that I'm able to leverage. The foundation of any business is the relationships you have with your customers, suppliers, and your team. If you want to succeed, invest in those relationships. John Maxwell, he's a Christian guy, and he's one of the best on leadership. You're one handshake away from your life completely changing at all times. So this is my landscape designer. This guy is designed probably half a million, probably $1 million worth of projects for me. And he's also my construction mentor. So this is the first relationship that you need to build. I'm going to go over, I think there's 5 relationships that are necessary to your success as a contractor looking to get into these higher profit margin construction projects. You need these people in your pockets and in your Rolodex to help you succeed. First one is a landscape designer. Why? Because if there is a project that's over your head and you don't even know what to do, you need somebody with experience to come in and build a design for you. Now, this guy's been doing it for over 20 years. He's unbelievable at putting designs together. High quality designs helps you sell high ticket landscape projects, and it builds more value and status in your business. It helps you generate ideas, and you can leverage their expertise even if you are doing a quick design yourself. So just because I have this landscape designer, like I mentioned, he'll take 2 weeks to get something back. But if I'm doing a design on my own, I'll leverage his expertise, give him a call, and he can answer 4 questions for me that allow me to get that design knocked out right away. And so, I've sent him photos of properties, and I'm like, dude, this slope's crazy. What do I do here? And then boom, he sends me a voice message, or boom, we get on a phone call and he's able to tell me. So when you're new and you don't have the information, you don't know how to do everything, you have to leverage people's information, that you have to leverage people's wisdom. This guy's been doing it forever. He went to college for this. He worked for many landscape companies. I found him at the supply store. And of course, he wants to help me be successful because then I'm going to buy more products from him. But you can also find him from local contractors, other landscape companies, Facebook. You can reach out to a landscape company and say, hey, who do you guys have designing your landscape projects? Are they on staff, or are they just an independent contractor? Because sometimes these landscape designers are just independent contractors, and you just need to know them. So don't be scared of rejection or uncomfortable conversations, or post in Facebook groups, ask supply stores. Then the next relationship that you need to form are subcontractors. Even if you want an employee-based business model, that's fine. But having subcontractors that can come and do projects for you that your employees can't do is a very leveraged way of, making profits and using somebody else's life force energy to do it, to get it done for you. I had employees. I tried that method out. I didn't like it. I didn't want to build the overhead. I didn't want to, build all these, loans and shop payments and have 40 employees that I need to keep busy all the time. I like landing 4 projects a month that net me 20K, and then my overhead being 8 to 10,000. I like that a lot better. So you need to find subcontractors. How to find them? Supply stores. Same thing. Walk in there with coffees and say, look, I just sold a paver patio. I'm looking for somebody to build this for me. Do you have anybody that comes to mind that can build this project? Facebook groups, posting actively on social media. So I actually found my guys from posting reels. John Maxwell talks about the law of the lid. And as a leader, if the people underneath you hit your lid, they're going to be looking for another lid to go underneath, because they're always looking to grow. So as a leader, you have to continually be raising your lid, so that way the people underneath you can grow as well. This guy, his leader at the time, wasn't posting on social media and wasn't really in that growth mindset, came underneath me, which I'm all about the social media. And so now he has room to grow. So now I get his expertise. So yeah, you can find them through local training events. You can find them by just jumping out of your truck and going on the projects. You can find them through, sometimes they have yard signs or logos on their trucks. I'm always taking photos. I have an album in my phone that's just for subcontractors. You want a Rolodex of these people. And the good thing is once you find one good guy, once I found my main guy, he had the sprinkler guy, he had the HVAC guy, he had the electrician, because he's been doing it for 20 years. So we already had all the connections that I needed. You just need to find one good guy, and it's extremely possible. The ideal subcontractor, at least for the hardscaping, is an owner-operator Mexican with over 20 years of experience. You want this guy to be a professional. You don't even have to think about the projects. You want to go out and get the projects, and he's going to handle the project flawlessly, get it done perfectly every time. He has all the equipment. That's going to make your job way easier to go and sell. Now, with your subcontractor, to qualify them, you want to meet with them in person. You want to have them show you their work, go to projects if possible. You want to make sure they have liability insurance and work comp. And you need to start them on a smaller job just to see how they operate, see how they clean the project up, see how, their attention to detail, and then give them a W-9 tax form right away. And then on projects that are over your head where you don't really know what you're doing, get them involved on the estimation side of the project. You meet with the client on the initial estimate, and then you realize that, whoa, this is over my head. I'm going to need to bring the contractor out here to help me generate ideas and put together his price on what he thinks it's going to be and help you get measurements for products. You can just tell the client, look, I want to make sure that your estimate is as accurate as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to meet with my crew lead, and I'm going to swing by the project, if that's okay with you, just to double check, what we've put together so far and make sure that there's not going to be any changes on the project. They're going to say yes every time and let you do that. So get them involved on the estimation side of the project if you don't know what their pricing is and if it's over your head. I'm to the point now where I can do paper patios without having them meet me at projects, just because I know where their prices are going to come in at, because I've job tracked. I know how long jobs took us in the past. I know what I paid them, so I can use that to my advantage to get estimates out really quick. Now, another relationship that you should build is custom home builders. I talked about this earlier, but if you can get good relationships with custom home builders, they're going to give you an endless stream of projects. Custom home builders have tons of deals and projects that need landscape. They know tons of people that you can benefit from, like architects, land developers, real estate moguls, etc. And the owner of a custom home building business could be a good business mentor of yours if you're looking to get into something like that, or if you're looking to get into real estate or land developing. They often give you projects that just wrap into the mortgage of somebody's home, so they're easier to sell the projects and get good margins. And they normally give you good, big luxury projects. So the next relationship is a marketing agency. Have somebody that is an expert in SEO and ads that can get you tons of leads for your business, and that can update your website for you, that can build the copy and run the ads and build stuff out for you. I got a marketing agency, and immediately I started getting 6-figure projects, and it was just a great relationship. And I had them start sending me like monthly reports on ad spend and results. That way I could track the data. And that was another huge thing that really provided value for me. So harness somebody else's expertise. And, it would take you a lot of time to learn how to do all that stuff when you could just focus your time on the top 3 levers. So yeah, that's another relationship that I recommend that you build. You're also going to need a construction mentor. This can be the designer, like I mentioned previously, or you're just going to need somebody to make sure that you're using the right products, you're doing the right things to make sure that this, you're using the right base rock, you're going the right depth, you're using the right poly sand. You need somebody that has experience in the industry that you can leverage their expertise. So you need construction mentors. You need business mentors, somebody that can hold you accountable, that can see your blind spots, that can level up your belief systems, that can give you key insights to save time, and that has a good network that you can tap into and build relationships. It's all about the people you spend your time with and the people that believe in you and that you're interacting with. If you're interacting with 5 losers, you'll be the 6. If you're interacting with 6 winners, you'll also be the 6. So invest in business mentors, invest in people that have your best interests in mind, that have done what you want to do, that can look into your blind spots and say, dude, why are you doing this? That's causing you tons of problems. Let's eliminate that immediately. And that will hold you accountable to getting stuff done and leveling up. And then finally, a landscape architect. These people usually went to college and have a landscape degree. They have access to massive commercial projects and have key relationships within the industry that can help you out. So leverage their expertise and knowledge, have them design projects for you, and ask them questions when you go to an in-person estimate that is over your head. All of these relationships are key to your success. And these you need to be going and hunting right away. If you can get all of these relationships, your business will scale almost by itself if you leverage their expertise and their knowledge. Now, the key to all of this, and the glue that holds all these relationships together, is harnessing a positive attitude with a massive vision and high energy. Because if you're getting results and you have high energy and a massive vision, everybody that you come in contact with is going to benefit from that. And so they're willing to help you out. And so through this, you'll attract people to you, you'll build trust with your contractors, and you'll motivate your team to keep pushing through the rainy times. And the key to getting all these relationships is to ask hard questions, start uncomfortable conversations, and push into the world with whatever it is that you're wanting. If you push long enough, people will call you lucky. There's no such thing as luck. There's such thing as probabilities, and you can increase your probabilities of success by harnessing all these people's expertise. So that's another lever that you can be pulling. I think this is more important than doing an estimate for the project. Why? Because these relationships are going to pay you for, years and years, when an estimate only pays you once. And so this is why, like, if you're still cutting down trees, is that the most leveraged activity that you can be doing with your time right now? Remember, we only get one life. So you need to be spending your time in the smartest way possible. And by you cutting down that tree, you probably could have paid somebody $200 to do that. So what's your time worth? What are you valuing your time worth? Well, you want a Lamborghini and you want all this stuff, but you're valuing your time at $20 an hour. Does that add up? No, it doesn't. So awareness is key in business. Lastly, systems and delegation. So this has been a key component to my business. And I'm no longer working in it. I'm no longer mowing yards. I'm no longer building patios. I'm no longer planting trees. I have people do that for me. What does that do for me? Frees my time up to focus on the levers to scale. There's a great book, E-Myth, Michael E. Gerber. If you really want to learn how to work on the business rather than in it, read this book. It goes over tons of good frameworks and real life examples of how Ray Kroc, systematized his business. You want your business to be system dependent, not you dependent. And so there's this quote: if your business depends on you, you don't have a business, you have a job. And it's the worst job in the world because you're working for a lunatic. I think that's awesome. If you don't have a business, or if your business depends on you, you don't have a business. You have a job. So we need to create a business. How do you create a business? Well, you need to delegate and build systems. So while you're working in the business, you need to work on the business, building out that seat and procedure for the next guy. So while I'm responding to emails, while I'm cold calling people that called me last week I didn't get to, I'm writing down the system and I'm documenting, what did I say? What did the email look like? Why am I doing this? What day am I doing it? And I'm documenting that entire process. That way, if I have an admin that comes in, they're going to be able to do that for me. So document everything, build systems. You can use tools like Loom, Google Docs to record your day-to-day tasks. Loom is actually what I'm using to do this right now. So it has the video in the corner. You can see where my mouse goes. You can see what I'm doing and clicking on. And it's amazing for, building systems, or, hey, this is how I did this estimate, or, hey, this is how I sent this email in our CRM, or, hey, this is how I followed up with this client. This is what I was texting her. So it's amazing to, build these systems and processes and SOPs in your business. What processes should you build? Lead acquisition, your sales process, client on and offboarding, project management, financial management, marketing, client communication, employee contractor management. Every single one of these processes should be documented. And once you document these, why does it matter? Well, because then it takes the guesswork out of business. And guessing isn't profitable. If you're just guessing on how to do the best sales process each time, you're not going to improve. But if you have it documented, and then you see right at that moment when you asked, if she was ready to go, that it created sales resistance, you can tweak your sales process, test it, and iterate, and then try it out on the next person. So everything needs to be documented. That way you can test things out, what worked, what didn't work. Okay, maybe I'm not going to follow up 2 days after I send the proposals anymore. I'm going to follow up 1 day after because my response rate was way better. So document everything. You'll have to do it at some point to scale your company. So why not scale now? And to grow, you need to actually spend time thinking about and focusing on what creates growth. And so by doing this, you'll also have great ideas that pop up in your business on how you can speed up efficiencies and how you can delegate. And sales processes and systems will increase your close rate. So it'll help the client have a better experience, and it'll increase your close rate because they've actually been walked through a process and they can feel that it was reverse engineered. And then delegation. One of the key things that I've learned about delegation is don't hire for potential, hire for talent, because potential takes time and money and mental bandwidth. And if you just hire for talent right away, then they can just immediately do the tasks that you needed them to do, which allows you to have the mental real estate to keep focusing on other things. Versus if you hire for potential, you didn't really do anything, because you're still going to have to train that person, and now you're going to have to spend time making sure that they know what they're doing and teaching them, and then it takes your time away from doing what you needed to do anyways. So hire for talent, not potential. And then two key hires that you can make in your business are, one, an admin, and two, a project manager. An admin's going to help you tremendously with, random tasks. And then a project manager, obviously you want to hire for talent here, somebody with over 20 years of experience to help you streamline the business, help you build the systems, help you build the processes. Ideally, they worked for another landscape company, so they know how that company was able to achieve success. They can come right in and help you build out your business, help you with the sales, in-person meetings. And then I wrote, this is kind of some tasks that an admin can do for you. Managing the CRM, sending me tasks that I need to do every single day, follow-up calls, estimates, checking my emails and sending me the ones that need my attention, responding to the ones that are pretty generic. Accounting for contractors, subcontractors, keeping track of general liability, checking insurance status, scheduling, client communication, billing, and invoicing. If you can have somebody do this for you for $25 an hour, that frees up so much mental bandwidth for you to go build key relationships with other people in the business. And then also, subcontractors doing the projects for you. If I can leverage somebody's expertise that's been doing it for 30 years and then just pay them $3,000 to do the project and I'm making $5,000, I'm going to do that all day long. So you need to delegate the work. You need to overcome the limiting beliefs that somebody isn't better at doing the work than you, because chances are there is somebody that's better. And if you think about it, if there is somebody that's better than you at doing the work, you're actually doing the client a disservice by you doing the work, because there's somebody better. And now you can't spend all the time that you need to actually give them a good client experience and really focus on the process and, their experience with you, because you're bogged down by doing all the work. So if you find somebody that's really good at doing the work, now they have the best person doing the work, and now you're the best at giving them the best experience. That's how you create the most value for your clients. So that's systems and delegation. And like I mentioned previously, awareness is key to business. So you need to be aware of what are the top 3 things that are actually moving the business forward and producing scale. But lastly, you need to be awareness. You need to be awareness. You need to be aware of what is holding you back. You need to be aware of what creates the results and then what's holding you back from the results. So what is the biggest bottleneck right now that's keeping you below 100K a month? By identifying what creates results and what's preventing results, you will gain tremendous clarity on what to do next. Most business owners are so consumed by day-to-day tasks that they don't take time to reflect and to think. The richest people in the world get paid to think. If you can slow down, sometimes it speeds you up. If you can slow down to get these activities done, sometimes it will help you scale 10 times faster. Then you just continue to do what you need to do. So some questions to identify the bottlenecks. Where do projects commonly stall? What tasks consume the most time? Where are most complaints coming from? What projects generate the most profit? And which projects, have the most mistakes? What are the biggest constraints to growth right now? What type of projects are constantly late or over budget? So also, these are business questions, but you could also, ask yourself personally, what are the biggest bottlenecks that are keeping me from a 100K a month business? Is it that I can't get off short form content? Is it that I can't focus because my dopamine levels are off? Is it that I keep going and playing golf with my friends and I'm not able to actually keep the momentum through the weekend to help build the business? Is it that I'm scared of follow-up calls and so I put it on the off or I put it on the back burner and then subconsciously I create anxiety for myself because I know that it should be getting done? So identify, not only the biggest bottlenecks in the business, like, hey, limiting beliefs, but also biggest bottlenecks within yourself. And I think by focusing on client acquisitions, building those relationships, and then building systems in your business and delegating it to people with experience, and focusing on the top three levers, focusing on those three things, and then also having awareness on what's keeping you below 100K a month that you can slaughter, that's going to help you scale from where you're at right now to 100K a month.